on here and talk about who rent to rent is actually for and who it isn't. Because I get a lot of people in my DMs and they're like, is it right for me? Is it not right for me? There's so much noise out there online about different strategies: rent to rent, rent to SA, rent to HMO, buy to let. There's just so much noise. So I thought I would just jump on and talk about who I think rent to rent is for and who rent to rent is not for. So rent to rent is for people who they value income over ownership. So obviously with rent to rent, we're not going to be buying the property. We're going to be renting it and then subletting it for serviced accommodation purposes. So as long as people who get into rent to rent are happy with that idea, that they will be cash flowing their business and making income more so than actually owning the property. The other sort of person that rent to rent suits is people who are comfortable outsourcing. So there are some people who they love to do everything themselves. Maybe they've always done business that way, or that's just the type of person they are. Now, people that want to do everything themselves, in rent to rent, it just doesn't work. It's just not scalable. It's probably the case for most businesses, to be honest. But as most of you know, I've outsourced my rent to rent business from day one. And that's the way that I teach, because I believe we all want passive income. The only way that is possible is through outsourcing. So if you're comfortable with that, then rent to rent could be for you as well. Also, it suits people that want more time and more freedom, but freedom in terms of location, time, money, all of that, this strategy suits them, because once you've found a property, you've furnished it, and you've created your systems, you've got your teams, you've got your processes, that property should run without you. So you shouldn't have to be visiting that property every month. You just need to find your next property. So you really can be anywhere in the world doing that. You could be finding properties from the beach. It genuinely is true. I spend about 10 minutes a month on my business, on my properties, because I've got everything in place that I don't need to do anything else. And the other sort of person that rent to rent actually suits is people that are willing to be coached. So people that are willing to go, okay, it's a great strategy, I know it works, but I don't know the ins and outs, and I'm willing to learn and implement. That is great. Those sort of people I want to hear from, because rent to rent can absolutely work for them if they're willing to follow what works and implement everything. Now, rent to rent is not for people who want just quick, easy money. They want to just wake up tomorrow and expect like 5k in their bank. That's not how life works, as far as I know. And it's the same with rent to rent. It's just not how rent to rent works either. Yes, it's easier when you know what to do and how to do it and when to implement and all of these skills that mentorship teaches you, but you do have to still put the work in. And I think that's a given. Some people don't get that, but it's not easy money. It's simple to follow, but you actually have to follow it. And also, rent to rent is not for people that won't invest in themselves. People that don't want to further their education, they don't want to increase their knowledge around a subject, then rent to rent's not for them, because they probably don't know what to do and how to do it. So it's really important that they actually get educated before they implement. It can be really costly. If you get a property, you just start and just hope for the best, you can end up losing a lot more than what mentorship would have actually cost you. So if anything that I've talked about here today has resonated with you, just DM me rent to rent and I will happily discuss further with you.